Foam fighting? Really?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It sounds dexterous.
Trust me on this one, okay?
Okay, we'll go after this episode. Happy?
Yay!
Hi, and welcome to Best Places with Nyreen and Courtney. Today we're going to be telling you about the ways that you can be you on campus.
College is the time to explore your interests and find your passion. Did you always want to learn to dance? Join an Argentine tango club, a K-pop dance group, or Bulls Bhangra. You can learn about all these clubs at the MSC Life Tower over there.
More of a laid-back personality? Join the Foodies Club or the Chocolatiers Club.
Wait, there's one just for chocolate?
Uh-huh.
Well, that was fun.
You know what's even more fun? Beef studs.
I'm confused.
They're proud to be Bulls Country's most passionate fans.
Are the face and body paint people at the games?
Them too. They're also the masters of tailgating.
See, I'd rather be playing at one of these. Did you know they have multiple courts on campus?
That's so cool.
Also, have you heard of the cosplay club?
They have one of those here?
They have one for everything.
And you can start a club with just 9 people and an advisor.
We should start a napping club.
And what exactly would we do at those meetings?
Nap, obviously.
I think we're here.
I think so too. This has been Best Places with Nyreen and Courtney, and now get ready for USF Housing Live!
Whenever I met my girlfriend, it was in the meet and greet for orientation. She was the first person I walked up to, you know? And yes, it's because like her beauty stood out to me. But then as I got to know her, her brain stood out even more. And I was like, man, this is amazing. Like, you know, I'm intellectually like attracted to you. And so I'd say definitely don't let just the face value, somebody looks pretty, you know, I should date them, you know, get to know somebody. And then also don't rush into things. Everybody wants to be the first one to say, oh, I love you, you know, like, or they want to like throw around the L word. But I'm like, what does that actually hold? Like, what does it entail? Do you mean it? You know, do you know what it means? Do you know what it means to love someone? I'm not even sure I know what it means to love someone, you know? There may seem like there's steps in a relationship. Okay, this comes after this and everything's planned. Your relationship is whatever you want it to be, you know? So if you're happy not having sex, if you're happy, you know, just going on dates, you know, keeping it very platonic, but also at the same time like a romantic relationship, then do that. You know, don't be forced by society or by anyone else to say like, oh, you have to do this. When are you gonna do this? You know, when is this gonna happen in your relationship? Because they aren't the ones that dictate it, you are. You know, and a relationship can be whatever you wanna be. To all the incoming freshmen who are trying to find a relationship in college, I say stop looking. You know, don't look for a relationship, let it find you. Because if you go around looking, you're gonna end up unhappy, you're gonna end up probably not with the person you really wanna be with, because you're really just looking for something that's at face value. You know, relationships, they're born out of love, they're born out of like actually having care for that person.
Gregory Bowers, Sierra Rose, Maxwell Morinelli, Elisa Goldberg, Nyreen Naomi, Courtney Cadogan, Geraldine Paredes, June Dickens, Chris Herrera, Stephanie Jockman. Wednesday, June 13th, 2018. Coming to you from the beautiful University of South Florida campus in Tampa, it's USF Housing Live!
Welcome everybody. This is USF Housing Live. I'm your host, Gregory Bowers with Housing and Residential Education here at the beautiful University of South Florida in Tampa. Our motto, best place to live, best place to work, best place to learn. We've got a great episode for you tonight, and like every USF Housing Live, we'll be answering your questions in real time. Want to send a shout out? Got something you want to know? Go ahead, type in the comments, and we'll answer you just a few seconds later. It's pretty cool. It's a TV show that will yell back at you, so please go ahead and type your comments there. So let's go ahead and meet our guests. We have Dr. Milton Wendland from the Stonewall Suites Living Learning Community. Dr. Wendland, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Glad to have you here. Also joining us is Jerry Staples from the Office of Multicultural Affairs. Welcome, Jerry.
Hey, Brian, happy to be here.
I'm glad to have you. I've got questions for both of you, and of course, if you've got questions while you're watching, type them in the comments and we'll get right to those. So, Jerry, please tell us, What is it you do here at USF?
Oh yeah, awesome. I'm one of the assistant directors in the Office of Multicultural Affairs, and I help to oversee all of our diversity programs here on campus. So our History and Heritage Month that we celebrate, LGBT plus History Month, Black Heritage Month, Hispanic Heritage Month. We also do International Festival, the Intercultural Student Leadership Conference, tons of things to get and celebrate diversity.
Literally so much stuff going on. That's awesome. And so I know oftentimes students will be saying OMA. And so if a student hears OMA, what does that mean?
It stands for the Office of Multicultural Affairs, and so if we're trying to figure out where we are, you ask the student, where's OMA? We'll let you know. It's the MSC 3300. The Office of Multicultural Affairs is the place to be.
All right, I like the shameless plug. 3300 is the third floor of the Marshall Student Center. And so how does a student get involved with OMA?
Yeah, there are tons of ways to get involved, and so you can be a part of our international buddy program and be on the leadership board there. You can be an ISOC conference mentor. We're also starting some new things where we're inviting students to serve as co-programmers for our Heritage Month. And so you can serve on our Hispanic Heritage Month as part of the committee that helps plan the programs for that. Same for LGBTQ plus History Month and Black Heritage Month. So there are plenty of opportunities to get involved.
So I got to ask some more about the upcoming programs and services in the fall. What's coming for the students soon?
Yeah, it's a whole lot of stuff happening. So everything gets kicked off with Welcome Back Jam, a part of our Week of Welcome celebrations that happens at the institution. It's a big celebration. Student organizations, they come and perform. We have some of our Greek letter organizations as well there. There'll be music, there'll be a dance party. It's a great, exciting time. And then we'll kick off the semester with Hispanic Heritage Month in September, then leading into LGBTQ plus History Month in October, International Festival in November. So plenty of things to do throughout the fall semester.
Tons happening. I love that you mentioned WOW, which is Week of Welcome. 10 days of free food is how I like to explain it to our students. And I like that you mentioned the dancing too. Isn't it true that everyone dances on this campus?
Yeah, or you get involved in some type of club, whether it be Bulls Bangra or the Latin Dance Club. There are plenty of opportunities to shake your groove thing.
Awesome. And so thinking about the Office of Multicultural Affairs, why does an office like this matter to our students?
Yeah, I mean, when you think about all the diversity that's here on campus, about 45% of our students identify as students of color or coming from multiple racial backgrounds. And so there is lots of diversity here on campus. And so our office is here to help people discover who they are, who they want to be in the world, their identities and what matters to them, and help them to find a voice while also helping students learn about the world around them, right? And so one of the big things that people look for in college graduates is they're culturally competent and they're aware, and our office is positioned to help support that.
And so thinking about long-term growth for each student, what new knowledge or skills does a student gain by working with your office?
Yeah, I mean, it's having those difficult dialogues, understanding the diverse world around them. We are a place, again, where we talk about growing your identity, understanding the world, the lived experiences of those around you, and being able to share and tell your own story as well. And so when you engage in our programs, when you come to our office and hang out and talk with us, you learn about the world around you, and you learn how to engage in meaningful and powerful ways as well.
And so what student populations are generally served by OMA?
We try to reach all the students here on campus, and so whether you identify as a marginalized identity, Black or gay or whatever it may be, we're definitely there to support those students, but we're here to support all students on campus to help them grow to be interculturally mature students and global citizens.
And so what services does OMA provide specifically for LGBTQ plus students?
Well, we have a wonderful staff member, Maria Merrill, who's the LGBTQ plus initiatives coordinator in our office. And so she is a staff member who is paid and dedicated to helping those students feel like they have a home, feel like they belong, feel like the institution is supporting them in whatever the endeavor it may be. And so if a student needs access to a resource, or if they just want someone to talk to, if they're trying to find community, they want to be activists and be more involved, Maria's there, and all the staff members in our office are there to help guide that student.
Thank you. And I know Summer B is right around the corner. Fall opening is right around the corner. And so thinking of those students who might be watching right now who haven't come out, what advice do you have for those students as they prepare for this transition to USF?
Yeah, I think one thing is to know that life is a journey. So no matter where you are in your coming out process, whether you might still be closeted or you might be out and come out to your family already, is that knowing that USF is a home for you no matter what stage you are in life. And so our office is here to help support you, guide you in those conversations, help you find other peers who can share their stories and find community as well. And so my advice would be is just be okay with the journey that is life and know that there's a great community here to support you.
That's great advice. I really appreciate you sharing that with us. I got another question for you here. How would a student have that difficult conversation, perhaps, around difference when we think of race, nationality, gender identity, sexual orientation? How can a student get into that conversation with someone different from themselves?
Yeah, well, I personally believe that storytelling is our most powerful tool against bias and stereotypes. And so what I would encourage the students is to really be open to sharing your story and listening to other people's journeys as well. Not listening to respond or to rebuttal, but just listening to understand and grow. And then from there, just lean into the difficulty and being okay with saying and being vulnerable and saying, I don't know something, can you help me out? Can you help me understand this? People can tell when you're genuinely trying to learn and trying to grow, and so they're more open and receptive to those conversations. And so my 2 pieces of advice would be to listen, to understand, and be okay with the difficulty.
Jerry Staples, everyone, that's excellent advice. Thank you so much for joining us. And as a reminder for everyone watching, go connect with the Office of Multicultural Affairs up in MSE 3300. That's on the 3rd floor of the Marshall Student Center, and get connected when you get here on campus, most definitely. Want to remind everyone we're going to be coming back in just a moment with Dr. Milton Wendland from the Stonewall Suites Living Learning Community. But first, got some videos to roll for you. We're going to meet Jess again, who's in our Becoming a Bull series, learning about their LGBTQ experience, and another video about Stonewall Suites coming your way. We got more USF Housing Live right after this.
Hey Bulls! Catch up on episodes you may have missed and see what's coming up by visiting usf.edu/housing. Select About Us, then USF Housing Live. Choose an episode and get ready to live the Bulls life.
This fall, USF Housing is opening the Stonewall Suites Living Learning Community. This LLC will be a place where LGBTQ+ and ally students can find and create an environment and community of awareness, respect, and advocacy for all sexual orientations and gender identities. There are no degree or GPA requirements for this community, and both first-year and returning students can apply.
By living in this LLC, you will gain an understanding of LGBTQ+ identities and identity development, learn about opportunities available to you at USF and in the greater Tampa Bay area, and receive information and resources regarding academic support and career readiness.
You will also be engaged in activities organized by Housing and Residential Education, the Office of Multicultural Affairs, and the Department of Women's and Gender Studies.
There are even more benefits for residents of the Stonewall Suites LLC.
Peer support among individuals who understand what LGBTQ+ students experience on college campuses.
Share and encourage leadership opportunities such as joining LGBTQ+ student organizations and submitting conference proposals.
Greater opportunity for academic success by sharing resources available to students both on and off campus.
Receive information about scholarships and awards.
Connect and engage frequently with LGBTQ+ and allied students, staff, and faculty right in the residence hall.
This is the space where Bulls can be who they are, be bold, be free, and be loved. Stonewall opened the door for gay rights. Stonewall Suites is the living room. This is our home.
Hi, my name's Jess. My pronouns are they, them, and I'm a first-year student studying environmental biology. I identify as a gay female. I remember in 7th grade, there was this girl that I would look at and I found her extremely attractive and I was like, whoa, am I bi? I didn't really experiment at all until high school, and it was actually my senior year of high school and I met this girl. And I was like, yep, this is my time to shine. So I just went for it and then came out to my family. So coming out to your family, it's a whole different level of like, what will happen to me? It's definitely a decision that you really have to make. Like, is my safety gonna be possibly taken away from my family if I come out to them? I am so lucky to be part of a community. It's safe for me to be gay where I was, and I know that it's not like that for everybody, and I think that really applies to USF, where this is a safe place. It really opened my eyes. I was like, wow, USF truly is as diverse as they say they are. Before I came to USF, I was really afraid that I would feel like an outcast. I really do feel like there is such a acceptance here. Go Bulls!
Hey everyone, welcome back. This is USF Housing Live. I'm your host, Gregory Bowers. You or someone else. And we just got a little question in here from a Matt Goldberg who says, hi, Elisa, see you soon. Elisa?
Hey, Dad.
Okay, back to work, everybody. All right, and so please, if you have a question or comment, go ahead, type it in the comments, and we will answer you in real time. So we're talking now with Dr. Milton Wendland from the Stonewall Suites, LLC. Dr. W., welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Happy to have you here, and got to ask you, what is it you do here at USF?
Well, Office of Multicultural Affairs is sort of the student affairs part, and my department is Women and Gender Studies, and I'm a faculty member there. So we teach general education courses that any student can take as they move toward graduation, courses like Intro to Women's and Gender Studies. And then my particular specialty is teaching LGBTQ courses, so LGBTQ cultures, queer film and TV, things like that.
And so we're going to be talking about the Stonewall Suites LLC in a moment, but to start broadly, what is a living learning community?
Well, at USF, a living learning community is exactly what the name sounds like. It's a place where you live together with people who have a similar interest, a similar major, a similar identity, but it's a learning community because you do more than live together. You're actually participating in a variety of activities that are informal, some that are structured through housing and residential education, and then some that are academic, like my course, Intro to LGBTQ Cultures.
And so we may have some folks out there wondering, the Stonewall Suites LLC, where does that name come from, Stonewall Suites?
Well, Stonewall is something we sort of celebrate every June. June is also LGBTQ Pride Month because of this. And back in about 1969, a bar was raided in New York City. And up until this time, LGBTQ people had been sort of isolated and sort of powerless. And for some reason, there are lots of suggested reasons, this night those people fought back. And it sort of gave all of us, LGBTQ people at that time, a sense that maybe we weren't alone, that maybe there were more of us, that maybe we were everywhere, not only through space and region, but through time. And it sort of precipitated this desire to sort of change things and shake them up and hopefully achieve some sort of equality in the cities and states and nations where we live.
Excellent. Well, thank you for sharing that with us. And so now thinking about the experience, we have the inaugural Stonewall Suites LLC opening up this fall. What is the value for those students who maybe are just coming out as LGBTQ?
Coming out is incredibly difficult no matter what your background, where you're from, etc. The LGBTQ Suites, the Stonewall Suites LLC, is this sort of great place to meet other people who already understand sort of the struggles you're going through and the successes you're having. They understand some of the words that you might have heard, that you might use for yourself. And it's a great place, too, to sort of integrate all of the stuff that you're learning at USF as you move toward graduation and toward a career.
And so what about those students who have been out for quite a while? What is the Stonewall Suites LLC going to offer them?
Well, a lot of LGBTQ people aren't born into families with LGBTQ parents and grandparents and cousins and uncles and aunts. And so a lot of us often feel disconnected, even when our families are very loving and supported. So as we age or develop and come out and become comfortable with ourselves and our identities and our behaviors, it can feel really positive and help us grow even more to help other people develop that same sort of security. So for an advanced student, a junior or senior, or for a student who's already out of the closet and pretty comfortable with who they are as a person, as an LGBTQ person, it gives them a chance to sort of take a leadership position informally, mentoring other people, but also formally within the LLC.
Excellent. And so does having this LLC for LGBTQ students, does it isolate them? Does it marginalize them in any way?
Well, it would if we forced people to live in the LLC, but it's not. USF is huge. Our Tampa campus has thousands and thousands of students and so many events, from the Office of Multicultural Affairs events to every department, etc. So really it's a choice among many options for LGBTQ students. If you don't want to live in the LLC, there are lots of other options. If you want to have sort of a compacted, experimental sort of experience that focuses on this particular part of your development within your larger USF experience, this is the place to be.
Excellent. So what about those students who want to be a part of the Stonewall Suites LLC, but they're not out to their parents and they're thinking, my parents, my family pays my tuition, what can I do in this type of a situation?
A harsh truth is we live in a world, a society, a time where you have to make that decision based on your family and your income and your education and your goals. But a great step can be, once you're admitted to USF, is to contact the counseling center, the folks at Housing and Residential Education, and the folks at the Office of Multicultural Affairs to explore that a little bit and ask if maybe they can put you in touch with resources that can help with that. But the key thing about the Stonewall Suites is you don't have to move in immediately. So you can come to USF, see what's out there, choose your major, dip your foot into the toe of all the LGBTQ stuff that's going on, and then later on, if it's something that you want to do and you're feeling more comfortable, you can do that. But the other part is, you don't have to be in the LLC to participate in some of the many activities that we're going to be doing. So you can tangentially be a part of the community too, but you're just not going to get that full LLC experience.
Absolutely. I got a last question here for you. Want to ask you about some of the activities, the opportunities that are going to be happening this fall for Stonewall LLC residents.
Oh, I should have brought a list. Some of the activities are going to be really small and informal. Some movie nights to expose people to some movies that are LGBTQ related. We're going to have some dress-up nights. We're going to even do some cooking and some other activities related to all sorts of historical days throughout the year that honor historic LGBTQ people and events. In a larger sense, housing and residential education have a sort of really unique curriculum that helps us learn about resumes, wellness, financial planning, et cetera, as we move forward, which is of interest to everybody, but particularly people like LGBTQ people. And we'll be taking, hopefully, some of my courses like Intro to LGBT Cultures. And even more important than that, we're going to be totally taking a gay tour of Tampa. We might be taking a field trip to another city. There are a couple of other museums around here that are going to be having LGBTQ exhibits. And we'll have options to get connected with Tampa Pride and St. Pete Pride, among other things.
Excellent. That's wonderful. And students, take Dr. W's classes, absolutely. Our director, Sierra, is a big fan, and you'd taken Dr. W's classes back in the day, and now gainfully employed, and what a wonderful individual. And so thank you for that, Dr. W. You're welcome. And thank you, Sierra. Bye. So it's just Yell on the Set Day. I've got a question here from Matthew who'd like to know, when will Pinnacle Hall construction finish? My orientation is July 16th and 17th, and I was hoping to get in there and see it before moving. Matthew, I'm glad that you're excited. Want to let you know, when there's an active construction site, you don't want to go there. If you jump over that fence into a construction site, you just became a felon. So please don't be a felon, be a bull, and respect those construction fences. But I've got an answer that will be a whole lot more helpful and less snarky, Matthew. Want to let you know that you can actually, during orientation, take a tour. It'll be on day 1 between 5:15 and 7 during dinner time over at the Hub. We will have staff stationed right inside the front door, and they'll take you over to Summit Hall, which will show you the rooms for traditional and suite style. And those are pretty much every room in the village. All 5 buildings have pretty much the same style of room, same layout for traditional and suite styles. So your room may be slightly different, but for the most part, you're going to see the exact room that you're likely going to be living in Pinnacle Hall. Of course, Pinnacle Hall is super suites. That means a double room, but with only 1 set of furniture for 1 person, tons of activity space, all right? So you're going to be hooked up if you're over there in Pinnacle Hall. And so thank you so much for our guests for joining us. We are just about out of time, folks, but please remember, this show is coming your way every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Our next episode, Pick a Major, Any Major, is next Wednesday, June 20th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time at youtube.com/USF Housing, Facebook.com/USF Housing, and in the USF Class of 2022 Facebook group. If you're interested, just go to usf.edu/housing. There are 2 links right there on our homepage to make sure you are joining the official USF Class of 2022 Facebook group. I'm Gregory Bowers, your host. This show is produced by Housing and Residential Education at the University of South Florida in Tampa. Our motto, best place to live, best place to work, best place to learn. But before we go, there is just one last thing. Go Bulls! Good night, everyone!